The domain of a vector function is the set of all input values for which the vector function is defined. So when we have a vector function that's composed of three parametric equations, f at t, g at t, and h at t, the value of the parameter that's an allowable input is going to be the value of the parameter or the set of the values that work in the f function, in the g function, and in the t function. Essentially, that domain is going to be the intersection of the domains for each of the individual parametric equations that make up that vector function. So here we have a vector function with three components. So it's a three-dimensional vector function, and each of those components is a function of the parameter t. So to generalize this, our vector function is going to be a function of t is the x component, a function of t is the y component, and a function of t is the z component. So in this scenario, f at t is the ln of t. It is the x component of our vector function. The y component of our vector function, we'll call that g of t as the parametric equation, is the square root of 1 minus t. And the z component of this vector function is just the value t. So when we plug in a value of the parameter, we plug it into the x component, the y component, and the z component, and what we get is a vector output where the terminal point of that vector is a point on the line of the space curve that this vector function represents. So the t value that we plug in has to be a domain element for f, has to be a domain element for g, and it has to be a domain element for h. It has to work in all of the components. So the domain of the ln of t, as you'll remember from algebra, is that t has to be greater than but not equal to 0, so strictly greater than 0. The domain of the square root of 1 minus t, we're going to take that radicand, set that greater than or equal to 0. We'll get 1 is greater than or equal to t. In other words, t is less than or equal to 1. And the domain of h of t is equal to t is just all real numbers, right? No restrictions on what t can be when we have t to the first power. Now, we'll simply take these three domain restrictions and find out where they overlap. So on our number line, we have all the t values that are greater than 0, but also less than or equal to 1. So in here is the area or the region where all three domains overlap. So then this region will be the domain of our vector function r at t. We are allowed to plug in any t values that are in the interval from 0 to positive 1, not including 0, but yes, including positive 1.